continue, insert coin, back to split, legging hits to the groin, live in Mortal Kombat vs. Shao Kahn, resemble dad and mom just to face my fear. I had not to care, to conquer life, needed balls, bollocks, cojones, to embrace aloneness, hearing your life's less, made my decisions lifeless, but I digress. You 90s rulers of life a mess, by your behest, we do all what you say for a quest, intention the best, creates intended tension, thinking there's secrets in the Snowden, mad after facts out and about, so we spout hate to what we create, an endless cycle, the fate we articulate, capitulate, forward checkmate on a checkerboard, rise on a ripcord, to see pots, pans, looking up for fellow follow fans who sing praise and worship under all, but we can't have that unwanted subscription, we only subscribe to accomplish aspirations for those we say.
I can go anywhere.
Yo, I'm back. If you saw that first one, that was trash. I apologize for that. But yes, I'm back. We're going to have fun with this. I'm a lot more lively. I just finished baking a cake, and I'm happy. Then I went on Twitter, folks. And I didn't get happy no more. Because I saw this. We got to talk about it. The new black media. Well, before we even start with this, New Black Media Appreciation Month is done. It was a fun 30 days. I got to connect with people in the new black media, plus people that consume the new black media. Did a lot of Twitter spaces. Speaking of which, I have one coming up Wednesday at 6 o'clock for the ladies. I'm going to try to get the ladies, give them the game from a male perspective on how to bring themselves back to the forefront next to black men, because we know there's a war with black women right now. So that's 6 o'clock on Twitter Spaces Wednesday. So make sure you're following me there at the Kid Gravity. But yeah, I did 2 streams last week with new black media personalities, Sincere the Love God and Nice T Girl. And I did one with Beatzilla PDX. And then I was invited to do a big panel with Afro Lead, Touring Rain Reloaded, A to Z TV. Beatzilla was on there, Black Alpha. So that was a fun 3 days last week. But even though New Black Media Appreciation Month is done, we keep going. We keep going. We keep going. But yes, folks, we got a lot of topics to talk about today. But I'm going to start with reparations, because reparations is always the hot button topic, always. And it seems like now, considering that it is the hot button topic, everybody wants to put their 2 cents in, including non-black people. And those are always the fun ones, because they love to show up and tell us what we're fighting for is not for them. But even though it's not for them, they have the solutions for it. We're supposed to take their solutions. And we've already told y'all on many occasions, stay out of our business with this. Just like there's certain things in your community you don't want us to talk about, there's certain things in our communities we don't want you talking about. So stay away from this. But one more again, they decided, yes, we're going to say something. We're going to tell you Negroes what you should do with the reparations. So apparently this went viral, folks. This goofball a-hole decided to run his mouth and talk about, hey, reparations aren't about justice. They're an act of revenge. Oh, God, an act of revenge. So when they gave the Jews money after World War II, that was a sorry. The American government did something wrong to a set of people, and they rectified it. So that's okay. The Trail of Tears. They didn't act against a segment of people. They paid off. That's okay. Biden paid off the Asians for getting him into the White House and them getting killed by the white boy down here in Atlanta. $50 million and anti-hate legislation. But that's okay. Reparations. That's okay. But when black people say, listen, you enslaved our predecessors. You've put us in financial straits for centuries. And all we're asking for you is to pay off. Well, not me, because I don't have lineage here. My lineage is in Jamaica. I'm just talking for them. But they're telling you, just pay off and let's correct history and move forward. It's an act of revenge. Douglas Murray, the author of this rag, said it's an act of revenge. So an act of revenge would be descendants of American slavery going up to Congress and taking that money. That would be an act of revenge. People storming the White House, going to get Biden so he can sign legislation to get black people reparations. That would be an act of revenge. An act of revenge would be slaying the family members and descendants of the slave masters. That would be an act of revenge. Asking for money due to people based on something atrocious happening to them. That's an act of revenge. I swear, folk. And you know what's funny? The new black media warned y'all that, yes, they're going to come outside on this crap. But let's read, because this was funny as hell to read. 10 years ago, the idea of reparations sat on the political fringes in America. The question of whether or not compensation should once have been paid to former slaves has died out. Not least because by the start of the 21st century, no one in America had actually suffered from slavery. The country was a century and a half away from the bloody Civil War it had fought over the issue. They love using that statement. None of you are being enslaved now. Okay. Their family and their lineage is still suffering from it. Cut the check. But let's continue. But there's a tendency in our own age which does not allow wounds to mend or heal. Indeed, there is a movement that locates long-healed wounds in order to rip them open again and then complain about the hurt caused themselves. In 2014, the writer Ta-Nehisi Coates, that I'm going to be nice, wrote an essay in The Atlantic making the case for reparations. In recent times, few articles have had more impact. The issue of reparations began to be picked up by the radical left and then made its way to the political center. By the time of the Democratic primaries in 2020, all the party's candidates were willing to talk about the issue. Some, including Kamala Harris and Elizabeth Warren, expressed support for some form of reparations. Such candidates pointed to the disparity between average household wealth and white families and black families in America. Okay, so we found the first lie in this article, ladies and gentlemen. He stated that Kamala Harris and Elizabeth Warren expressed support for some form of reparations. Sure, they said that. But ladies and gentlemen, we also heard Kamala say, quote, I'm not going to do something that only benefits black people, which would be reparations, which is why now you're hearing Jim Crow Joe talking about, Native Americans and all this, because they hear that black people were here with the Native Americans. Even before the Native Americans, now they want to say, they should be included in it to diminish the amount of money they're going to give. Y'all not slick. That's one. Number two, Elizabeth Warren, of course she said that. She wanted to be president. But y'all also seem to forget she was the same one when people asked her about reparations. She said, what are reparations? People ran down on her and asked her about reparations. She flat out said no. But y'all forgot about that, right? Interesting. Revisionist history. They always show up. It always shows up. But let's continue, folks. Let's continue. The article, this rag opinion piece, goes on to say, once the Democrats were in power, one of the first things they did in Congress was apply pressure on President Biden and set up a commission to study reparations for Black Americans, both for slavery and for systemic racism, a guilty verdict that was already in. Okay, first off, we saw what that commission was. That's HR 40. The study. He only pushed for the commission and granted it to the CBC and Congress because they thought it was going to shut us up. No. That was the worst thing they could have done. Because now that they said, okay, you guys can have your commission. Did the calls for reparations stop? Did they wane in any way? Hell no. People are still talking. The voices actually got louder. The people you have on the committee, I guarantee you get a tweet a day about when is the committee going to start talking about reparations for real. Where is your plan? Where is your proposal? You don't hear anything from them, now do you? Interesting how that works. But Douglas seems to be in the know. This white guy seems to be in the know. All right. It certainly is true that there are disparities of wealth between Black and white Americans, but there are disparities between Black and white Americans and Asian Americans as well. Trick bag. See? Now he's throwing the Asians in there. Guess what? As I said before, the Asians got their money, sir. The Asians don't go to the government and ask for money. They stay in their enclaves. They have geese. They promote community. They're some of the highest earners in the country. They're not sitting there begging for money. But if you do them dirty, you best believe they're going to come get the check. As I stated last year, Biden giving them $50 million in anti-hate legislation and task force with the police. But let's continue, because of course he has more to say. In America in the 2020s, Asian Americans significantly outperform every other racial group in their earnings. They earn more on average than white Americans, who in turn earn more than Hispanic Americans, who in turn earn more than Black Americans. See what they're doing, folks? They're playing the class system. Yes. They're playing the class system. Because now we know this is a Black and white problem, aka a Black and government problem, but they're trying to separate the severity of the white guilt from us by saying, oh, Asians make more than whites. So in turn, whites make more than Hispanics. Hispanics make more than Black people. So, hey, Blackie, white people are in the same boat as you. They don't have the money to pay you off. Okay, sir, our beef is not with white people as a whole. Our beef is with the government. Because foundational Black Americans and freedmen, they want their money. The government sanctioned slavery. They fought over slavery. They're complicit. Y'all are trying to say, oh, the 2 to 8%, whatever number it is, percent of white people here that own slaves are supposed to pay off the entire freedmen FBA ADOS sector. That's not what it is. The government is on the hook for that as well. But y'all don't want to hit the government right now because it's a bunch of Democrats in there, and most of y'all are Democrats, so you would be the bad guy as well. But we all know a couple years ago when it was Trump and them and y'all brought up reparations, you said the government should pay off. The racist Republicans should be the ones paying. Yes, you said this. But let's continue. All talk of reparations must confront this statistic. If the cause of black economic underperformance in America in the 2010s is systemic racism, why do other groups outperform them? Why do groups who have arrived more recently outperform them? And why is this systemic racism in America not holding out Asian Americans if it is so all pervasive? Just like I said, Asian Americans do not go to the government and ask for money. Asian Americans set up their enclaves. Asian Americans spread themselves out, go into the black and white and Hispanic neighborhoods, build businesses, trade, build the money, send it back to their enclave, send their kids to college. Black people, that's our problem. We have to stop frequenting their businesses or significantly dent it, because we know black people can't as a whole shut that faucet off. So I'll take a significant dent. But you see what you're doing again. Like I said before, you're trying to put the blame on somebody else. You're trying to get us to go after the Asians. The Asians right now are not our problem. White supremacy is the problem. The U.S. government is the problem. Foundational Black Americans, Freedmen, ADOS, they need their money. And it's on the government to pay off. But Douglas wants to put himself in the firing line and be the spokesman for the U.S. government, even though nobody assigned him to do it. So, sir, all this commentary and all these attacks that are going to come, please be prepared for what is about to happen. I mean, you've already been getting it, but now you're going to get it from somebody else in the new black media. And I'm not as nice. Or I'm not as vicious as most. But I have my own way. But we're going to continue. In recent years, the claim of systemic racism has become an all-encompassing explanation for everything the radical left wants done. So you see how they're calling black people asking for reparations the radical left. Okay. The movement looks at complex problems and presents a simple answer: racism because of white supremacy. New black media. B1 Society. Let's go to Douglas's Twitter page and tell him, since when are you considering us the radical left? You are not about to lump us in with the crazy white liberals. You are not about to lump us in with the 76 gender crowd. You are not about to label us with the LGBT. You are not about to do that. You're not going to sit here on this and try to play conservative. You're not going to do it, sir. Nah, not going to work. Oh, of course, he wrote a book. But I like this sentence right here. We are talking of a group of people who look like a group of people who did a wrong in the past, making a vast wealth transfer to another group of people who look like a group of people to whom a wrong was done. Black Americans. Really? So you just missed the wealth transfer that happened in 2020, right? Biggest wealth transfer in history, $33 trillion. That just bypassed you, right? Got it. Okay. See? White interference, folks. This is white interference. But let's keep going. He brought up the transatlantic slave trade. Of course he did. Now they like to use what we like to say. The transatlantic slave trade, like the far larger Arab slave trade of the same period, was only made possible because black Africans kidnapped and sold their brothers and sisters into slavery. Yes. And they have to atone for that as well. But that's not our fight right now. Our fight, again, is the U.S. government making black America whole, sir. Stop trying to deflect where the blame glows. Blame glows. Blame goes. Blame glows. Blame glows might work too. Whatever. So how do we find out who is responsible for all this? Easy. Black people have been doing it for years. It's called looking at the census and seeing who owned who and keeping those records. If black people can find that out, best believe the government has those records, sir. These idiots infuriate me. You're gonna put a picture now of Amy Cooper. Oh, so you're saying she should pay off? Now he's bringing up how San Francisco passed the Karen Act because of Amy Cooper, make it a hate crime to make a racially motivated 911 call against a black person without reasonable suspicion of a crime. Right. Subjective. Right. And then, of course, he shows his book at the end. Yeah. All right. Let's get this off the screen. Folk, what did I tell y'all? They can't stop, won't stop. They're like Diddy. Can't stop, won't stop. These are them. These are them. I warned y'all. The war is coming June 1st. All this you're going to see in the next 30 days, these are all opening salvos. These are all to get your ducks in a row. These are all to get the ducks in a row. But let's continue. We're going to keep it on reparations. Somewhat. But I want to bring up this. Because this also has to do with reparations in a way. But we know later on in life, they're going to use this. I warned y'all also about them conservatives, especially the white ones. But we also have to watch out for the ones that are white identifiers. Bam! I did a video on this, folks. We've got Sarah Gonzalez, a conservative commentator from the Blaze TV, who decided to run her mouth and say black on black crime is a greater problem than white supremacy. I'm going to say that again. Black on black crime is a greater problem than white supremacy. Someone who is not in the black community is going to tell us that black on black crime is a greater problem than white supremacy. That is quite interesting. You gotta love them, folks. You gotta love them. I told y'all, them white folk gonna start talking like this. Them Steven Crowders and the Glenn Becks and them, they're gonna start talking like this. Because it's easy to sell that lie. Very easy. Ma'am, let me explain something to you. Black on black crime is not as big a problem as you think it is. Never was. Do we have our problems? Of course we do. What neighborhood and what collection of people do not have crime? But we know the numbers are grossly over-reported. And we also know that these news outlets like to always hype up black crime, black on black crime. I'm sure everybody in the audience and those who are going to watch this live stream have seen when you watch a newscast, usually if black people are involved in some kind of crime, that's what they lead with. They want it drummed in your head already that we're just this violent people. When they know most of us just want to be left alone. Most of us are law-abiding citizens. We try not to make any noise. We just want to go, live our daily lives, and come home. That's it. But y'all take it upon yourselves to take the minority and highlight it to make the majority look bad. But now that we're pushing back on it and telling y'all, nah, you need to watch your numbers and understand what you're saying, now it's an issue. So yeah, go over to Sarah's page, folks, and tell her, you need to go talk to La Raza. You need to go talk to the Latinos and them. Go worry about y'all's gangs. It's funny that y'all want to bring up our crime, but I remember a couple years ago, y'all were real pissed off over at MS-13. Where y'all not? I don't see Sarah calling them out. I don't see y'all calling out the illegals that come over and do crime. I don't see that. The ones that y'all love giving driver's licenses to, the far left, and they getting in there drunk and killing people on the road. Or the ones coming around R-ing everybody. We don't say this. I don't hear none of this. But like I told her, I shouldn't be surprised with someone who probably identifies closer to white than Hispanic. How many Afro-Latinos do you cavort with in your daily life? We know damn well she don't. I've seen her pictures. She fancies herself a white woman with a splash of Saison. But I said this has to do with reparations. Again, like I said, the war is coming. Crime Bill 2.0 is coming. Statements like this plant flags. Again, Biden knows he's about to get stomped in November, him and his people. So he's going to be lame duck president. His only trick is to get out that crime initiative. He done met with Eric Adams. I'm sure he talked to Uncle Lightfoot. I'm sure he talked to Bowser. No Mario. Down in D.C. Crime Bill 2.0 is coming, folks. And the one he already knows, if he wants to go run again and he needs to get in, he needs the white conservatives on his side. And he's going to start touting this crime bill. Get it under control in liberal cities and urban areas. And the white conservatives, even though they hate him, are going to be like, you know what, I'm in agreement. And the black conservative bootlegs are going to follow right behind them, picking up their doo-doo. And then throwing that doo-doo at us. Don't be surprised if you start hearing Kundin Owens start talking about crime bill and how it's a good thing. You watch your black conservatives. Just watch them. But Sarah Gonzalez, you can go fuck yourself. And I say that with the utmost, fuck you. We get her off the screen. That's how life is gonna be today. I'm in that kind of mode, folks. I'm not playing no more. These people starting to piss me off. Every day they're needling us, and then when shit happens, then they want to say, "Oh, we doing too much." Oh, they go black people again, acting crazy. Say less. And then what pisses me off more is not only did she say that, but also on Twitter and in my comment thread, you got a-holes trying to tell us that she was right. She was right. On your screen, this is my comment thread. This idiot, once again, is probably a troll. Because I, in the video, put up stats, showed the stats, that says white people commit more crime than black folks in 2018. You know, the year that Trump was in office and everybody said that crime was going to skyrocket and there's just going to be dead black bodies all over the place. Yeah, how'd that work out? Wasn't too much now was it? Funny how that works. But anyway, the idiot said you can't be serious. The so-called facts you just read demonstrate how black on black crime is the biggest problem that all black people face. Okay. So number one, you took what this woman said out of context because that's not what she said. Because if you read her tweet, folks, her tweet was a broad tweet. Her tweet said, black on black crime is a greater threat than white supremacy. Because they understand that when we talk, especially in the new black media, about white supremacy, people have been doing that for years. It's catching on now. You even hear in mainstream media talking about white supremacy. And they've never brought up the term white supremacy ever, unless they were talking about the Klan. Excuse me. But now they're talking about it by everybody. They're even talking about it with Karens. They don't like that. So they have to deflect it. Because like I said, her community is going to have to face the fact that white supremacy is fucking with them too, but they don't want to because they try to identify as white. Shout out to Florida. So I told this idiot, let me see if I can pull it up. This thing is kind of out of whack. I think it deleted one of my comments, but whatever. I said, oh God, no, it's not. We have less numbers, so it's going to look like a problem, but they never bring up white on white crime as a correlation. They minimize their crimes and maximize hours, even down to a damn traffic stop. White supremacy is everywhere and a bigger cultural threat than black people harming each other. I guarantee you if they leave us the hell alone, crime will drop drastically and all these talking heads would have no reason or desire to bring us up, which is true. Again, like I said, with newscasts, they love highlighting us. They will never bring up what happens with white folks unless it's egregious. They'll bring up a shooting in an apartment in the Bronx, but we'll have a national story of a mass shooter, and unless he's white, they will hardly report on it. But when the mass shooter is white, he's got to have some kind of right-wing twinge to him or her. Remember, Andrea Yates. They tried to say, oh, she was going through something, but she drowned her kids. Trying to minimize it. She was going through something. That's why she drove that car in the lake. But you'll have a black man punch somebody for saying something out of line. And you got people in the comment thread trying to figure out where he works, if he got kids, why DFAX is not involved, and we're doing too much. He need to be locked up. He's the savage. And I have a strange feeling that this once again person is an actual immigrant. I'm getting vibes because I only ever hear immigrants talk like this. But we take that off the screen. Again, this crime bill, we have to make sure we kill this noise. That we already know they're going to silence the new black media when the summer hits, because everybody's there's going to be more leisure time. People are going to consume a lot more content. Got to make sure our voices stay highlighted. So we got to keep moving the message around. But we continue. Speaking of white supremacy, I'm going to love this segment, folks. I'm going to love this segment. Oh, by the way, if you're not subscribed or you just found the place, make sure to hit the like button, share it, subscribe to the channel. I want to thank everyone who has been subscribing, a subscriber a day or two or three. That's great. Let's keep growing the channel. As soon as I get that community tab, we'll have more fun with it. I'll be way more engaging. And Like I said, follow the Twitter, follow the Instagram. It's all in the link in the description box. But let's continue. So the white supremacists are pissed at me, folks. I did nothing wrong. I done nothing wrong, folks. I didn't do a thing wrong. Except report the news. That's all I did, folks. Why is that so wrong? I can't report the news. I'm not allowed. I got the white supremacists mad at me, folks. They tell me I'm telling lies on their people, their heroes. Look at this, folks. Look at this. Right here. Call of Duty commandos run from Ukraine. I did this a month and a half ago. Look, 21 dislikes. They hated the fact that I was laughing in the video. I reported the news and laughed. They hate it. Look. Hey, get off the screen. Look, 21 dislikes. They're so upset, folk. They're still coming to the video today to tell me that I was wrong. And all I did was laugh. I ain't report what was the truth. What? I literally read articles, folks. I literally read what the mainstream media wrote. And I purposely used left-wing outlets. I purposely did that. And I even told these people that's where I got it from. But they didn't want to hear that. Look at this. This one. He brought 9 of his buddies over. And tell me I have no knowledge of what I was talking about. Yet again, I was reading news articles. And he spent the better part of a week trying to tell me I was wrong. Look at this. Dude, Ken Reed was a real-life South Korean Navy SEAL. I never said in the video he wasn't. I said he was an idiot for going over there, risking his freedom and his life. For what? A war that did not involve him or his country. Like this woman, Miss Beautiful, said, they have the nerve to play holier than thou, lecture black people. Lecture. Guess what, folks? And this should serve as a insight to my channel. I did this story. Malcolm Nance did not escape my purview. He still caught it. I ain't seen none of them assholes go over there and tell me I was wrong for saying what I said about him. Now, did they? And I purposely put Ken Reed's name in the tags and the Henry Hof character. I purposely put their names in it. Because I dared them to show up on that video and tell me how I'm wrong. I got it, though. The KKK and the Asian buddies, yeah. When you start talking on them, then they get pissed. Everybody else, it's okay. Dead niggas be damned. It's all good. Look at this. I don't know where you get your facts from, but you should look more into Ken Reed. I literally told him it was articles I read. So you need to go take it up with Rolling Stone and Yahoo because they reported it on it. You need to go take it up with them. And I left it for them. They're the one that said it. I will not be liking, sharing, or subscribing. Okay, great. Bye. I'm going to leave that video up. But this is what I'm talking about, folks. White supremacists love coming in. What's up, Popcorn? White supremacists love coming in, trying to tell me about me. No, that's not how life works. I told y'all, this platform is equal opportunity offensive. Anybody can get it. I don't care if you're my friend and you do something wrong. I got to go on. I got to say something about it. I will say something to you on the back end, but just know if it's egregious, you will be getting that work. I ain't wishy-washy, and I would expect people to do it to me. I don't hide who I am on this. When I went around and did my rounds with the New Black Media, I made sure to tell my story in full. Y'all can't get me. I told y'all I'm a reformed coon. I thought the police were good. Some of them. I used to dabble in areas that you guys found offensive. I was very forthcoming. Don't believe me? Go to Beatzilla PDX. I was on his show. I said it. I said it when he came over here. I said it when on Afro Leech channel when he did his mashup. What do y'all want from me? This is what I say to y'all when y'all come over here and try to tell me that I'm wrong for saying what I said.
Brody, look! Niggas be wildin'!
Don't play with me on this, folks. Don't play with me. You can't stop somebody who's recognized their faults and have grown from it. Can't do that to me. But before I go, we got to talk about this, folks. And the video's coming later, so I'm not going to spoil it. But I want y'all to look at this. And in the comment section, leave your thoughts.
Please.
When your food comes out,
I want a fork now. I want a fork now. I want a food now.
eat that free food that
What did you call him? I want my food now. My fork now. A fork, Paul?
short, ugly beard. He's giving out free food to a fucking
To a
girl
fucking.
that got fired.
I didn't get
Does
fired.
that make any sense of it? You're a fucking black bitch!
Uh-huh. Oh, I got commentary going for that, folks. I just wanted to show y'all that because it was a preview. So that drops about 6 o'clock. That's going to be fun. And I put it as a premiere because I want to interact with people when they hear what I have to say on that. But the last thing before I go. Folks, so there's been a little, I guess I can call it a viral subject matter on Twitter within the spaces and the blacks, the real black sector, not black Twitter. We're talking about the real new black. I guess I'm going to coin a new term today, folks. We're going to call this new black Twitter. I've been in spaces, and I know brothers and sisters, they've been having spaces about should black people call ICE? Because we know that illegal immigration hurts everybody, but it particularly harms black people because these companies and businesses will hire an illegal alien, undercut and underpay them just to keep us out. And when I'm in some of these spaces, they would put things in the quote unquote jumbotron, like the Clover Hill Bakery story in Chicago or the Cock Foods in Mississippi, where ICE raided and took out all the illegal immigrants, which left openings for black people to arise in the company. And, you know, the debates have gone back and forth. People were like, yeah, you know what, we may have to start taking that tack because there's no point in getting the reparations. This is what I gleaned from it. There's no point in getting the reparations if we're still having the mindset that they can just take another segment of people and derail us. And then there's the other side that's saying that for us talking about snitching and how bad it is, we're willing to snitch on people because it somehow affects us. My take is this. Do what you got to do. If it's for black empowerment and it's going to help the bottom line, do what you got to do. You don't think these groups would call ICE on us if there were a whole bunch of black immigrants running around here unchecked? I want y'all to really think about that. If there were a bunch of Haitians running around DC right now, you don't think them white folks would have called ICE? If there were a bunch of Jamaicans running around LA right now, you don't think they would call ICE? Africans in Chicago, you don't think the Russians, the Ukrainians, the Irish, the Italians, the Hispanics, you don't think they would call ICE? But again, when black people decide to say, we're going to try something different, bam, everybody get pissed. I bring that up because today some goofball put up a post. I gotta exit this one. Some goofball put up a post talking about if you call ICE, we're snitching. He said, MFers on this app talking about calling ICE, laugh out loud. Okay, cool, but are you skipping a step? When are you going to call the police on the doughboy who has complete control of your block? Oh, we silent now, huh? I would love to know what block he's on that the doughboy runs. I would love to know what block this is. And as you can see, he got ratioed to hell. But I want to know what block he's referring to where the dope boys run it. Because I guarantee you, I know people in the streets, dope boys would call ICE on illegals if it threatened their territory. And the dope boys know if enough people in the community tell them to get off the block, they get off the block. Or they would make their business not be seen. But again, they come back with these 80s and 90s tropes thinking that that's what it still is, which tells me I don't know. I'm not going to assume. But I'm getting coon vibes. I was going to say I'm not assuming that he's not from America, but I'm getting coon vibes. I'm getting conservative vibes from him. So I told him, sir, you have just earned yourself the daily award for off-code statement. And nice T girl said, put him in the goofy corner. And then he said, oh, all cap, laugh out loud. This is performative. Have a nice day. Performative, really? Okay, sir. It was, like I said, it was performative when they did it in Chicago. It was performative when they did it in Mississippi. They did that in New York in 2018 when Trump threatened to deport all the Mexicans. That was performative. Interesting. That was performative. Like I've said before on this show, folks, there's too many black people that fuel their own destruction. There's too many black people who want to see black people fail because it gives them something to talk about. I did a video called Stop with the Loser Mentality. This is a loser mentality. Why would you not stem something that can affect you in every aspect? Why would you not fight against it? I guarantee you, if you owned a home and the bank tried to come and reclaim it, your ass would be the first one out there telling you you're not getting this. You'd be fighting using every avenue you can discover to make sure that you keep that. When these assholes come and try to gentrify our neighborhoods, do the people not fight as long as they can? No, we just roll over. We're supposed to just roll over. We're taking strategies that we've never implemented before to try something new. And we have failures like this dude trying to tell us we can't do this. This is whack. But if you're doing it on the Dope Boy, I'll support you. Okay, sir. Let's see how your statement went over. There's brother Nas Escobar. Follow him on Twitter as well. He's a wealth of knowledge, especially in the Twitter spaces. He said, call ICE. Somebody said, you're assuming descendants of American slaves don't do that. I guess he's talking about the... Yes, that is true. He made a very good point. This Kelvin made a very good point. Whenever these candidates need to get reelected or elected, usually police do raids in their district, especially the black ones. Get all the crime out so they can use it and say, hey, you know what? We do have a platform on crime. You're seeing it in real time. So Divine from Brooklyn said, wait, so your response to black Americans protecting our neighborhoods and economic interests against illegal immigration is to what about black on black crime months? Fam, you looking very suspect today. This is a bad take, bro. The individuals are having these conversations probably live in immigrant run areas with a lot of illegals and have had bad experiences. Plus, ICE could probably address the dope boy in some instances as well. I understand your point. I agree, but those two are separate conversations. Also, it's coonery to compare how we treat in-house to how we treat foreigners and non-kinsmen. I'm telling you, I'm getting conservative vibes from this fool. So I said I can't and we'll do both. So, because it was a female who said she'd do it, now you're giving her clout. You're giving her praise. See what I'm talking about, folk? See what I'm talking about? You'll see what I'm talking about. Because he wasn't the only person that said it. Nas said the same thing. He said he would call. All these other people up top said they would call. But you just bypassed that. Because her avatar gives you the assertion that she cute. So, Wani Spots is up in the building. She put something up. Check her out too. She said, what about black on black crime? Here we go. See, this is why I said he's giving me conservative. He's giving me conservative vibes. The dope boy here is complete control of your block. You watch way too much TV, dude. Immigration affects the black communities. 2022, the drugs are in the white communities. I cannot believe that out of all the hate on here, the black popo, he must prefer white and Hispanic women. Go to work, but look at the numbers on. Well, I ain't gonna say that word because you know how they are. Because snitching on a dope boy gets you killed. Somebody asked what dope boys control the block. Oh, A. Lewis. Shout out to him. Somebody says still call it ICE. Let me mute this fool. There's been Twitter spaces on here where I've been saying that the dope boys can't get that work also. Can get that work also. You just have been paying close attention, brother B1. He ain't B1. B1 people don't say stupid things like that. Get this fool off the screen. I don't understand this, folks. I really don't. Got too many coons running around here. And I should know I'm a reformed one, so I can spot a coon. They make my head hurt. These... The indoctrination is real, folks. It is. It's done a job on people. Literal science and literal statistics bother people. Facts over feelings. We tell you this all the time. Facts over feelings. Research. It will help you. It will help you move. Look what happens when they don't follow that. They set up their own destruction. They go along with whatever the government tells them because they don't want to think for themselves. Why? Sir, you're allegedly black. You are fighting against black empowerment. Because you're black, because you don't want to be seen as cavorting with police. And I've even heard in them spaces, ICE ain't police. And that's a general consensus. ICE ain't police. Do what y'all got to do. If y'all not going to raise guns on them, what are y'all going to do? Y'all going to be like the Warriors, go out there and clean up the block? Be my guest. But we know most of us ain't going to do that. So if it takes a phone call to clean up your neighborhood, let it be known. Because we know damn well a whole bunch of black folks moving somewhere where there's not a whole bunch of black folks. Somebody going to pick up the phone and have somebody come over and ask questions. But y'all don't want to ask questions. You got it. You got it. But let me get up out of here, folks, because later on tonight, 9:30 on Twitter, I will be moderating a debate between a conservative, black conservative, and someone from the B1. And it's about reparations and the government. So that's going to be fun. And then tomorrow evening, I will recap it here on the channel. So that's going to be an interesting dynamic. Very interesting. So remember, follow me on Twitter at @TheKidGravity. All the links, well, the full link will be in the description box. It's the first one there. So you can follow, you click that, it will have all my social media there, so you could follow me and we can get it done. And Wednesday, like I said, I'm having my own Twitter space for the black women. I'm going to give them the cheat codes and the game plan so we can rebuild this black family and stop their enemies dead in their tracks. So take care, stay safe. Again, thank you to everyone who's subscribed. Thank you so much. Let's keep it going to 1,000. Take care, stay safe. I'm out.